That means the state engaged in such acts to make sure that they unravel the personality behind criminal act. It's justified all over the world. So, but is in his own case, he's tapping to have access to security information. How you want to use it, you don't know the numbers of information he has gotten. We don't know what probably it is, and you know, things like that. It may be even exaggerated to the extent that they want to create you know, they just want to undermine the government.
If the DSA office could be tapped, or its
NSA.
phone, NSA, sorry, if it could be tapped, and you mentioned the possibility of the president's phone also being tapped, and when Rufai was speaking in his interview, he said we were listening. So who are these listeners? Which set of people sat down together? Is there a possibility that, you know, terrorists could be listening on their conversations and everything that was going on at that time?
You see, it's not when people want to commit criminal. No, I said the other time when I discussed very briefly the issue of first parentage, the network of those who are assigned by the sponsor. It may be a country who want to know the secret affairs of another country. It may be an individual who want to monitor the, it may even be the movement of the troops, the movement of our troops to lead the bandits. It may be their movement they are trying to know. So that probably when they say anything is given order that the troop must move to Sambisa, we can speculate. Our speculation is as wide as the universe. You know what I'm saying? Because until probably the security people now, through their investigations, they are now will now be able to tell us, yes, so these people, they are syndicate. And that is why the language we are is not an individualistic language. It's a collective language that suggests that it's more than one person. So you cannot say, if we cannot know the extent of going to such level of tapping the Mossack mission. So I think security network will determine that, and when they are taken to court, I definitely.
A lot of times we have had compromised missions of the military. Sometimes they had been ambushed, sometimes we've had situations where they were redeployed and from, you know, troubled area, and hours later attacks happen. We've had allegations of compromise on the part or within the military. Now El-Rufai is saying someone tapped the phone, which means that that person must have been an insider, a mole in the office of the NSA rather. Could this be a confirmation of all of the puzzles we've been having all this while about breaches and compromise in our security measures?
You know, if we trace the origin of this bandit, this Boko Haram, if you look vis-a-vis the activities of El-Rufai when he was the governor of Kaduna State, if you see the extent of kidnapping that happened and serious massacre of Christians in southern Kaduna when El-Rufai was there, well, I am not in positions to say somebody A is involved or B is involved. But what I'm saying in essence is that there is definitely the fight against Boko Haram is being elongated because of unreasonable elements within the system. And these honorable elements within the system, the politicians, they can be the military personnel, they can be the police, they can be any other security or any other security operatives. And some of them, investigation has shown that some of them are culpable through. Some of them have been arrested, thousands will be there who are not being arrested. So what I'm saying in essence is that it does not necessarily mean that person must be in the system, and we can also assume that person must be within the office of NSA. The other time, when you look at some of the statements emanating from those who are arrested for an attempted coup the other times, you will see that some of them, they are also in vintage position, that they have access to very, very much information. One of them is in the command base of the where they can launch attack against the Boko Haram bandits.
Under Tinubu's administration.
Yes.
The government did not come out outrightly that there was a coup, then. It was raised aside as a rumor, that it was a rumor, but there was a shake-up.
Well, everything starts from rumors. It is after they have confirmed it. The government cannot be just do things in hasty manner. Supposing there is a mistake now, how would they correct it? It's better they are very patient, look at the indices, look at the evidence that are available. Can the evidence, is it enough to sustain convictions for case of treasonable felony? So all those things, until when they got such an evidence and other things, that they will not say, okay, yes, it is true now, we can confirm now that it's not something that is, sorry, in the journalism, there is always speculative journalism. At times, you just look at half of the information out the information. You said, yes, it is likely to be this, but you will not say it is likely. You will say as if you are confirming it. Government must not commit such blunder.
When you were speaking, you mentioned finding locations through tapping of phones, like you can determine location through tapping of phones. And speaking about the insecurity in Nigeria, in this country, over the weekend we had videos of Boko Haram putting on display for us to see the people that were abducted, that were kidnapped, the last event that happened. So if we can have this technology to hack into the NSA phone, hack their conversation, listen to what they are doing, and they posted videos online, why is it that nothing has been done to track down these people? Like we can determine their location, but yet we are not hearing anything. Their IP address is there from the post. If we have this technology to do this, why are we now waiting behind on other things that seem more urgent than listening to a conversation?
You see, one of the Oluyole book, later he wrote so many books. I think where March to Prisons or the Devil Water, but one of the books that I read, he was talking with authorities when he done to the colonial masters. He said whether the colonial master like it or not, they can change the hands of a clock backward to give impression that Nigeria is moving backward, or they can tie it down to make it look stationary, as if we are not moving up, we are not going backward or move forward. Whether they like it or not, Nigerian clock is moving forward. You see, in Yoruba, we say the apology, but this is an English program word. Hey, you will not follow good head until you see somebody with bad head. Then we say, thank God though, that my own head is good though. The effort of this present government, when they come to you must take cognizance. I said it sometimes in one of the programs that the issues of terrorists, there is no countries in the whole world that has been able to eradicate it totally. Even when you thought that it has been totally eradicated, in the security paradigm, what we call isolated attack. They will be doing inside the room. See the woman that was arrested the other time. The woman was 65. Here should aged, weak, and we carry something in the bag like this, like as if it's begging. You understand? Whereas it's running around for them. So what I'm saying is that there is going to be what they call isolated attack. Probably the village. You know, I don't want to go, but you know, that's right. We are talking about local policing. In the US standard of policing is about 450 person per one what you call it, policeman. But what is happening now? The state is being under police. That is why the federal government gave the directive that all the policemen who are in the VIP, they should be redeployed to perform their primary assignment. Supposing almost all the state governors have been cooperating with the federal government to start the policing every village. The other attack that they affected, was it in Benin or somewhere, in Borno somewhere, it was about 5 days ago. Immediately they arrive in motorcycle. It's the villagers communicated to military base and they move immediately. That is communication. So the scenario we are saying, as at now, we are moving forward to eradicate it. We are moving forward to at least the weapons. Thousands of people have been apprehended. So there is going to be some isolated until we get where we plan to go, where we plan to reach.
All right, so have I been able to, whether through someone or himself, access the NSA's phone? What does this say about our security, national security, and in particular intelligence?
Well, it shows that when, that's why I said things should be investigated. You understand what I'm saying? That is what he alleged. But the most important thing is that I believe the one saying that he was able to evade arrest, they didn't want to arrest him. If they want to arrest him that time, they will be arrested. He's just trying to give impressions of maybe the thinking that so he's giving impressions of that is larger than what he is, so that people will say, yeah, this man is highly. No, I'm not saying he's not intelligent. I'm not saying he's a dullard. You get what I'm saying? I'm not saying it's not brilliant, but he's trying to give impression so that people will say, yes, this man is powerful. If we got information, it may not be as powerful as we are anticipating, but I think investigations will unravel it.
Over time, El-Rufai has come out to lay serious allegations against the current government and through the office of the NSA. Now that we are hearing this, what he's saying now, that he hacked the phone, should we go back to those allegations, like maybe they are true, maybe they were not made up?
You know, I want to know both of them. They are good friends.
That's El-Rufai.
Yes, when the former president, General Obasanjo, was the president. Incidentally, then I was also in the presidency then. So I know the two of them. They are best of the best friends. They are the two of them are jointly together with they are the think tank of the president policy. So they knew one another. All the coded phone, all the obscene phone, and don't forget, lose the sight that El-Rufai also was in the same political party with Nuru Ribadu. Their differences became open when both of them suspect that individually they are interested in presidency after the current president. So small their gap is being created, enmity is being created. So what is manifesting now is the hostility that has been existing silently among two friends. So they have no one another secret. You know all the phone numbers of this. You know this phone number. They know they are far. So it can be, but generally they have the secret affairs of one another before, especially when it comes to the issues of this communication.
Well, so could this be El-Rufai fighting back? Of course, there was a member of the APC before, one of the founding members, then moved on to ADC. Could this be his own way of fighting back or remaining relevant? But we'll be taking a break now to bring you the news at exactly 11 o'clock, and we'll be back with that question when we come back on Breakfast Fiesta. Just stay with us.
Wà fún sísè àwọn oúnjẹ aládùn. Ṣé lóòótọ́? Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni, Tasty Cube chicken flavour ni o, tí wọ́n ṣe pẹ̀lú àwọn èròjà àbáláyé láti sọ gbogbo oúnjẹ tá a ṣe ìdàjẹ́ pọ́nnu lá. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni, Tasty Cube chicken flavour á fàdùn ara máa ń da sóúnjẹ. Mo ti gba ti Tasty Cube chicken flavour lẹ́sẹ̀kẹsẹ̀. Tó bá jẹ bẹ́ẹ̀, má jáfara o, sáré lọ ra Tasty Cube chicken flavour tiẹ̀ lónìí láti máa jẹ̀gbádùn oúnjẹ àjẹpọ́nnu lá. Tasty Cubes chicken flavour ó ń fún wa lóúnjẹ tó gbádùn. Tasty Cubes chicken flavour ó wà lọ́lọ́gọ́rùn-ún gíráàmù, ọlọ́gọ́rùn-ún mẹ́rin gíráàmù àti ọlọ́gọ́rùn-ún mẹ́fà gíráàmù. Ó tún wà níyẹ̀ fún.
Ọ̀pọ̀ dúkìá tẹ̀lé ní àpọ̀ láyé gbogbo ẹrù mi ló ti bọ́ mi lọ. Ẹ̀wọ̀ tẹ́lẹ̀ fíríjì àgbọ̀tẹ́lẹ̀ mi gbogbo wa wọ́n ń bọ́ mi lọ yìí. Ẹ̀dúnwó lẹ́ẹ̀mí náà lójúwó lápáta wọn. Olówó kòkò rẹ̀ ní o. Bàbá àtàdọ̀wọ́ èmi náà o. Èmi lọ náà o. Ẹ̀dúgbò ọlọ́run ní ká nínú rẹ̀ máa o. Ẹ̀yin náà ibi tó ẹ̀kọ́ ló sì yí ọ̀dà. Àwọn àríwá ìwékù náà ti máa gbọ́. Ẹ̀mọ́ kan ló fẹ́ tí omi. Ẹ̀mọ́ kan ló fẹ́ jú ọ̀dà. Ẹ̀sìn tó máa wọn ọmọ yín fún wọn mọ̀dàlẹ̀ tó jú ọ̀dà mọ́. Èèkàn tí ìmọ̀ omi yà lẹ́wà nù. Ọlọ́run ní ní ká rírú eléyìí máa o.
Rédíò tó fakọyọ Olúyọlé FM Ìbàdàn làwọn tá a ti ṣe bẹ̀bẹ̀ Olúyọlé FM àwẹ̀jẹjẹ rédíò tó fakọyọ Olúyọlé FM Ìbàdàn làwọn tá a ti ṣe bẹ̀bẹ̀ Olúyọlé FM Olúyọlé FM Olúyọlé FM 98.5.
It's 11 o'clock.
The news.
Good morning. The news on the hour. Let's begin with reports that the Vice President Kashim Shettima will lead a federal government delegation to Kano today, following the weekend fire disaster at Singa Market. The delegation, according to a statement by the Special Advisor to President Bola Tinubu on Information and Strategy, Bayo Ononuga, is mandated to convey the President's condolences to traders who lost billions of naira in the inferno. The fire, which started on Saturday evening and raged into Sunday morning, caused extensive damage to the markets. The delegation will also pledge on behalf of the federal government financial assistance to support victims and aid Kano State in facilitating the swift reopening of the market. In another development, the Social Economic Right and Accountability Project (SERAP) sued the Central Bank of Nigeria (CBN) at the Federal High Court in Abuja over the failure to account for the whereabouts of the missing 3 trillion naira public funds. The missing funds also include over 629 billion naira paid to unknown beneficiaries as part of the Anchor Borrowers Program. The lawsuit followed the allegation contained in the latest yearly report by the Auditor General of the Federation, which was published on September 9, 2025. SERAP stated that the allegation by the Auditor General suggests grave violation of the public trust, the provision of the Nigerian Constitution 1999 as amended, the Central Bank of Nigeria Act, and anti-corruption standard. That ends the news on the hour. Thank you for listening.
Oluyole 98.5 FM.
ọ̀pọ̀ ti sún ṣẹ̀dẹ̀ rí bó ṣe wá mọ́lẹ̀ kedere. fẹ́ni tó ti gbọ́ kó sọ fẹ́ni tí ò gbọ́ o. PCOS bàbá wa làgbà adìyẹ. ẹṣin tó ṣíwájú ó ti gbà kó kíni náà. tó bá fẹ́ polówó ọjà kájẹ́ bùgbàjẹ́. kàn sí wa ní room 2 tó fi dé room 6 commercial department PCOS ilé akéde. ẹ wúra wo PCOS ọ̀pọ̀ ti sún ó fakọyọ ó tún kíá gan. PCOS ọ̀pọ̀ ti sún wọ́n ṣe bẹ̀bẹ̀ ó tún mọ́lẹ̀ kedere. àní right now PCOS ọ̀pọ̀ ti sún ó fakọyọ ó tún kíá gan. nísìnyí PCOS ọ̀pọ̀ ti sún wọ́n ṣe bẹ̀bẹ̀ ó tún mọ́lẹ̀ kedere. gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ń lọ tiwa Oluyole 88.5 ajílété lókè ògùn ẹ̀fẹ̀ gbogbo yín pátá la kí àti ẹ̀yin tẹ́ fẹ́ bá wa dòwò pọ̀ oṣù ọ̀ ẹ máa rí tajé ṣe o tí ẹ charity ẹ wòrà wò yí o. PCOS ọ̀pọ̀ ti sùn ó fakọyọ ó tún kí gan. PCOS ọ̀pọ̀ ti sùn wọ́n ṣe bẹ̀bẹ̀ ó tún mọ́lẹ̀ kedere.
rédíò tí ò láfiwé Oluyole FM 90.5 ìdùnnú rẹ lójoojúmọ́.
Oluyole 98.5 FM.
The city of Ibadan, the home of ancient warlords, in the Pace-Setter state, this is Oluyole FM 98.5 Ibadan.
káàárọ̀ ìròyìn ní ṣókí. Igbákejì ààrẹ ilẹ̀ yìí Kashim Shettima yóò léwájú àwọn aṣojú ìjọba àpapọ̀ lọ sílùú Kánò lónìí nítorí ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ ìjàmbá iná tó wáyé lọ́jà Singa. Àwọn aṣojú náà nínú lẹ́tà tó dámọ̀ràn pàtàkì sí ààrẹ lórí ètò ìròyìn Báyọ̀ Ọ̀nànúgà fi síta ló fìdí ẹ̀ múlẹ̀ wípé àbẹ̀wò náà ló wà fún láti bá àwọn òǹtajà náà tó pàdánù ọjà tí owó rẹ̀ lé ní ẹgbẹ̀lẹ́gbẹ̀ bílíọ̀nù náírà kẹ́dùn. Ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ ìjàmbá iná yìí tó bẹ̀rẹ̀ lálẹ́ ọjọ́ àbámẹ́ta tó sì jó di àárọ̀ ọjọ́ àìkú èyí tó mú kí ọ̀pọ̀ nǹkan bàjẹ́ gidi ní ọjà náà. Àwọn aṣojú náà ní orúkọ ààrẹ yóò sọ̀rọ̀ nípa ibi tí wọ́n ti lè ṣe ìrànwọ́ fún àwọn tó fara káásá ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ ìjàmbá iná yìí tó fi mọ́ bí wọ́n ó ṣe bá ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ Kánò sọ̀rọ̀ lórí ibi iṣẹ́ yóò ṣe yá láti ṣí ọjà yìí padà. Àjọ tó ń rí sí kíkó àkóyawọ́ nídìí owó náà àti iṣẹ́ àkànṣe SERAP ti pe báńkì àpapọ̀ ilẹ̀ wa CBN lẹ́jọ́ ní ilé ẹjọ́ gíga ìjọba àpapọ̀ tó wà nílùú Àbújá nítorí owó àwọn aráàlú tó lé ní tírílíọ̀nù 3 náírà tó di àwátì. Lára owó tó pòórá yìí ni wọ́n ti san okòólélẹ́gbẹ̀ta-àti-mẹ́sàn-án náírà sí àpò àsùnwọ̀n ilé ìfowópamọ́ ẹnìkan tí wọn ò mọ̀. Ìgbẹ́jọ́ yìí ló wáyé nítorí ẹ̀sùn tí ayẹ̀wé owó àgbà fi kan CBN nínú àkójọpọ̀ ọlọ́dọọdún tí wọ́n gbé jáde lọ́jọ́ 9 oṣù kẹsàn-án ọdún 2025. SERAP ṣiṣọ́ lójú ẹ̀ wípé àwọn ẹ̀sùn tí ayẹ̀wé owó àgbà fi kan CBN ló ṣe àfihàn bí báńkì àpapọ̀ náà ṣe dá ìgbẹ́kẹ̀lé ọdún 1999. Èyí ló pin ìròyìn ní ṣókí wa fún tìyálẹ̀ta ẹ̀máyáṣẹ́.
Oluyole FM Onjalala Tẹ̀létí Oluyole FM ó báradọ́gba kírìnsìn bí ọmọ àwélé ó já gàràgà ní fara olùkọ́yìn tètò tó ń retí ròyìn ní yùngbà ajídára bí ìṣù ẹ̀lú fíkà fábẹ́lá tẹ̀ 98.5 FM ìkòkò ọbẹ̀ fún gbogbo ẹlẹgbẹ́ tó kù máa gbọ́ lọ.
Oluyole FM 98.5.
Welcome back. It's still the Breakfast Fiesta on Oluyole 98.5 FM, and we've been talking about the former governor of Kaduna State, El-Rufai. He has claimed to have had access to the NSA
phone
conversations. Yes,
well,
that's what we've been talking about.
To some information, yes, and we've been talking a whole lot about that this morning. Now, before the break, I was asking our guests that El-Rufai was once a member of the APC, one of the founding members, before he defected to ADC.
That's correct.
And you said the relationship between him and Nuhu Ribadu was quite cordial until much later.
Yes.
So could this be a way of remaining relevant now that he has moved to the ADC, or a sort of vendetta to fight back?
Yes, I prefer to take the last speech, the vendetta. No, definitely he's an aggrieved person. He was writing, I read some few weeks ago, that he was writing the book about the legacies of all the former presidents, or the presidents of Nigeria. And he said, somebody else said, no, I will not write, I will not let Tinubu's name appears in that legacy. So, automatically, he's aggrieved. Well, his opinion that in the first instance, initially was not even supporting Tinubu. It was decided to support him, and he was able to use also his influence at that material time to break the Arewa consultative forums and others so that they will be able to get enough vote that brought the present government in. Definitely, it's not giving the support as a jamboree. Because I've been promised that, yes. And in one of the book, one of the statement I read, he said that he was promised to be the ministers of power. So, and unfortunately, otherwise, his name was forwarded to the Senate, and the security reports from the DSSS then shows that negate the idea of making a minister. So it was on that threat now that the Senate rejected his ministerial appointment. In one of the interview, I said no, it was not rejected by the Senate. It was the president who did not want him. But that is another thing for another day. But the most important keynote there is that till today he is aggrieved that no, he is not a member of members of the ministers in the ruling government. So along the line, he was aggrieved. He left the party in annoyance. I think he went to one product, one car, call something like until now he finds himself in ADC. And whether you like it or not, you will be able to see whether it's comfortable in ADC or not. But definitely, it's well, this is not a political problem, but you can say you predict it, you predict that, but generally, grief.
In the wake of all of this, El-Rufai has come out to seek explanation from the NSA rebuttal that the importation of about the importation of poison, that's thallium sulfate, into the country. So could this be a diversion from the crime that he obviously committed, like just trying to cover up what he did with allegations again?
Or is it something we should be concerned about as a country?
The chemical that he's talking about is a very dangerous chemical. It's odorless. And the impact, it can easily eliminate human being without being noticed. So what he's trying to say is, I see it as a diversionary method. Yes, if they accuse me, say I say trapping, go and see them, they too they have import so chemical, so that the attention of the people, some people's thinking, this is a way before now will now be divided. What is government do? They want to wipe up the opposition. It's just to wipe up certain. That is my own. But if he has written, he who assert must prove. If you say this is the government laws, they have imported it, they did this from somewhere, it doesn't go through normal clearance, you must have gotten enough evidence that will make him to sustain his allegation. But I know definitely the people will know much within the shortest possible time. So
what you are saying is that he should provide the evidence?
He has to. Because it's person alleging. You should be able to tell members of the public this chemical, he has said they are from so country,
Holland.
In Holland, and they say it doesn't pass through the regular process. That means it was offended illegally. You get what I'm saying? I don't want to be able to act like a government mouthpiece, but in my own opinion, if the government want to bring such a thing, if they bring it like through the appropriate means, who is going to question them? You get what I'm saying? They have machinery to do, but I don't want to act as if I'm the mouthpiece for the government. But definitely, he is alleging he should be able to provide. Who are those? Who are the illegal transporters through which illegal route? Is it in the south? Is it the north? Is it in the east? So that. And I think as time goes on, definitely we have not had the last about those two items, so those two situations that you raised this morning.
All right, so now we have first an admission of tapping or having access to the NSA's phone conversation, and then another allegation of government importing something harmful. what should be the reaction of the government to all of this?
Well, in the first one that you said about the chemical toxicity, I think the government have reacted, denouncing
especially both coming from the same man.
Yes. You know, I said earlier that he's just trying to, you see, I don't want to insinuate certain things because at times, if they want to undermine the country or undermine the government of the day, they'll be creating scenario that will make people to lose interest on daily basis or trust in the government. As it's a gradual process. I think that's what he's trying to do. But definitely he knows that with that state, that's why he cannot fade it. And the interrogations and other things will reveal a lot of things. You hear what I'm saying? So if those who tap it, they are doing voluntary work that they didn't, nobody asked them to tap for them, all those things will be unraveled. If there are so many of them, put in various locations, we are productive in the NCC, all this investigation will reach all those sessions. And I think, and I know it's going to end in court.
In a situation whereby this is likely or possibly not exactly true, but there could be a possibility in
an element of truth.
An element of truth. What exactly would the government be doing with something so dangerous?
What are the things that security personnel are holding that is not dangerous? Is it gun? Is it missile?
From the way you spoke about this chemical, it can take away, wipe out very fast, and you would not even detect it. I mean, when you see a gun, you see it coming. You run under the table, you hide. But this one, you won't see it coming. So, like, what can they be doing with something like this?
So if they lay, well, don't let me go into that aspect. So there are also many secret things that can be they can apply that you may not notice. So it's not only that. But what I'm saying in essence is this: is that they might have imported it true, but who ordered it? You get what I'm saying? There are a lot of things that those who didn't like government, who just want to undermine, there is no level, no realm that they cannot do just to make sure that that government is just reduce it to nothing. If you see the movement of things, the way people act, the way people talk, the way people interpret government policy, you will be worried, are we not in the same country? You get what I'm saying? Yes, the government may have taken some decisions that are harsh, that people are failing to be harsh, but people will say when women are pregnant and if the child is pregnant, the guys will cry because the atmosphere has changed. There is no change that will not bring its own a negative aspect, and that's what really happens all over the world. I have an opinion that if we endure it, but people don't want to wait for that. They just want to bring the government down. That is just what L5 is used to saying. It's seeing itself as members of the opposition, and it has seen this present government as its own enemy. If he's part of it, he's a minister, he will not say what he's saying. He will not be acting the way he's acting. So to every reaction, there's going to be a counter reaction. That's what is happening.
Now, Nigerians are beginning to take sides. Some government, especially the covert government, especially the covert one, and showing the weakness or the places the government one, and showing the weakness or the places the government is susceptible, and may have been compromising a lot of our missions, while others are taking side with the government, seeing El-Rufai, the government, seeing El-Rufai as an aggrieved ex or former member. All of these facts and allegations, not facts really, allegations flying around. What would you advise Nigerians to do?
You see, Nigerians When you study individual and you study quote unquote those who are opportune to be in leadership position and you estray them individually, at times if you're not very careful you may think of losing hope in this country. But definitely I love those who have positive thinking, and I think I'm one of them. You think I'm one of them. Rufai, he was in the OBJ government for 8 years. Cases of either the two or the three of them. You will definitely reach the present government high. One, this Boko Haram that we are talking now, if you do the in-depth analysis of the origin and the roles of the late president and even this Rufai that we are talking, you will be surprised. If you see how people are kind that time, when the current bandit, the type of the activities of this Boko Haram against Christians, especially in the Kaduna state, you'll be appalled. You'll be surprised. And Rufai, that material can see almost everything as perfect. He was not part of the government for less than 1 year. He's now seeing so many things that he cannot see for 16 years. Any quote unquote reasonable person watching such a personality, even if he's in love with that, it is when you are not in government, then the government must collapse.
But couldn't it be that you see better when you are watching and looking from the outside?
Well, you see, when you are seeing better, even when you are outside, you will still be patient, because that outside you are now will make you analyze the efforts of the previous government of which you are a major player. So that you now see shadow, see everything and say no, there is no good, there is no policy. This is the same policy that when you are anticipating to be president, you are still eulogizing, you are embracing, you are saying this is the Messiah of our time.
But can we completely dismiss everything he's saying? He's angry, he's aggrieved, but can we completely dismiss everything when he's telling us that they hacked into the phone and they listened to their conversations?
Nobody's, you see, by the time they ask him to come and write statement, if they made the statement to produce you, you'll be surprised that are you sure is this man that is still writing this thing? Yeah, but I don't want to speculate, but that is human being. If you train dog to bark every 6 hours, that dog will be barking. If you train any human being as such, you put him outside and be barking for you, so after barking for 2 days, you will say, what happened? Is it the person who is inside is not a human being? You get what I'm saying? That is the human nature. So the fact that I made that statement, we are not saying he's guilty, we are not saying he's not guilty, but if the statement is correct, you get what I'm saying? He has questions to answer. If he want to absolve himself from criminal acts.
So I wanted to ask, we all know how ruthless and desperate politicians get when election is coming closer, and we have the 2027 election very soon. So can we say all of this that is going on, all the drama, all the speculations, is just them fighting each other for power?
Fighting dirty.
Right.
Fighting dirty.
Do you want to, can you give me an example of any other entity that they don't struggle for power?
Oh, they do.
So what I'm saying is that the word politicians mean desperate. You get what I'm saying? If you go to, you do apology, if you go to Islamic God gatherings, associations, they fight for power. If you go to churches, especially these private churches nowadays and this and that, if you see the way they scream for power, you will be amazed. So that I just want to change your thinking. So the desperations for power is not limited to politicians alone. Go to the university environment. When they are fighting for the vice chancellors of this, it's also it's as if you are fighting for the reins of your life. So what I'm saying is all those things is the replicas of society we are from. The society, the type of people that be coming on board from any place is the replica of that society. The Nigerian nature, the police that you are seeing is the thinking of this society. The academic and the politicians, the broadcasters, the presenter, so all that they are, the symptoms of this society reflect in almost everybody. You know what I'm saying? So we just pray that there is change of mind from bottom to the top.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much, Mr. Fatai Akisomi, Esquire, for your insight on today's topic. And I'm quite sure everyone at home must have taken the points and noted all the notables in this. So we've been talking about Mahel Rufai's admission to tapping or having access to the phone conversation of the National Security Advisor, the implications and what this can mean for us as a nation, with our guest, Mr. Fatai Akisomi, a legal practitioner and politician. Thank you so very much for coming once again. Thank you for your time. And to you at home too, thank you so much for being a part of the program. My name is Jamila Eligbidi, on behalf of the producer, Oladimiji Salaudin. I say thank you and do have a great week ahead.
And my name is Florence Sherrill, wishing you the very best this week.
Gbé kó gbégbá àtẹ rẹ kíákíá, àní ẹ mọ́ pàtẹ ọjà ojú pópó mọ́. Ọkọ̀ níjọba láti tì í lẹ̀ fún, ẹ jẹ́ kọ́kọ́ òwúrọ̀ náà lọ. Ìsọ̀ ọjà lè yàn pàtẹ ọjà sí, ẹ kó gbá yín kúrò láyé ọ̀nà.
Òní máa tó ẹ rárá sí o. Òní máa tó ẹ rárá sí. Ẹ̀mí ọmọ pé méjì fẹ́ nìkan. Òní máa tó ẹ rárá sí.
Alhamdulillah, oṣù alápẹ̀lẹ̀ ti tún wọlé dé wẹ́rẹ́ o, oṣù ẹ̀yọ́nú, oṣù yẹ́ṣẹ̀ tọ́ba aláàjọ àṣà ìtọ́n sínú ìgbèkùn, oṣù Ramadan. Ilé iṣẹ́ rédíò àti tẹlifíṣàn ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ BCOS ilé akéde oríta Basọ̀run fi ń kéde wípé àsìkò ti tó fúnṣẹ́ àṣegbọrẹ o. Ìtọ́ba aláǹjúwe fún wa nínú Al-Qur'an pé a lè fi làlàyé ń bí àti lọ́la àlùkìyámà. Torí náà ẹ wá ṣonígbọ̀wé ètò àwẹ̀ nílé iṣẹ́ wa BCOS lówó tí ò gúnpá tí ó sì gajara lọ. Ọba aláwọ̀ sì ní dùn wá ní ládàá ẹ̀. Bó ṣe rú pípé àlẹ́ àdán, bó ṣe tafsir, wáàzí, ó túbà jímọ̀ nú àwẹ̀, tàràwí, ìrun Eid àti bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ lẹ fẹ́ ṣonígbọ̀wọ́. Kódà bẹ́ẹ̀ fẹ́ kí wọ́n máa gbọ́ lórí rédíò àbí kí wọ́n máa wò ó lórí tẹlifíṣàn live and direct bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe ń ṣe lọ́wọ́. BCOS ẹ máa bọ̀ ẹ̀yẹ ṣáàtì wá sí ẹ̀ka yàwòrán film unit wa nílé akéde ń bí tàbí kẹ́pẹ́ alága ìgbìmọ̀ Ramadan tọdún 2026 Alhaji Ibrahim Adeoye.